There's a question that we've all heard of, and there's a question that probably every one of you might have heard of. At first you don't think much about it, but then it starts to get irksome. I remember the first time I was asked this. I was a little boy just playing around with my toys, and I saw my father was sitting there and giving me a very thoughtful look, and he came down to me. He sat next to me, he caressed my hair and said, "Beta, what do you want to become when you grow up?" And my response to that was the response I have right now. I was and am totally bamboozled by this question. Not because I have my super duper astrology on steroids future knowing power with me. Nobody has that. But the frequency of this with which everybody gets asked this. Show me from a raise of hand. How many people have been asked this question? See, everybody. And what do? How do you respond to a question to which you do not possibly cannot know the answer? You know the worst part about this is, they ask you everywhere, even at your schools, your parents, your relatives, and then they wait for it and expect an answer. And what would a child do? He would tell, okay, so he'll tell something that about which he knows as much as we know about Tom and Jerry's profession. That is the level of knowledge that we have. And another question is, of all of you who have been sitting here, who have answered that question, tell me how many of you are the same current profession which you answered this the first time? Raise of hands. Raise of hands. Nobody answered engineer or what? Okay, so the people who did not answer engineer and are still here, welcome. Because this is what life is. And there are stages of this. They teach you what to do. And the moment you tell, somebody will say, I want to be an astronaut. And the next thing you know, people are get him Kalpana Chawla's biography. And the parent buy every biography, Buzz Aldrin and everybody, and excuse me. And then they have this concept of, if I have a biography, I can reverse engineer this. And I can make you do the exact same things. Obviously, there's an algorithm here. You will turn out the next Kalpana Chawla. But does it work? Did not work with me, at least. I don't know what my parents were thinking. So what should we do? And there is another form of this which makes it even worse. When instead of asking you, parents choose your own role model for you. They'll be reading some biography like, hey, this is a good person. I want my child to be like this. So probably they'll be reading like Warren Buffett. Do you know Warren Buffett distributed papers when he was a child? What are you doing? Off you go. But then after their first kid, they get to know it does not work that way. But so what do? Okay. And today, with the generation that we have, the smartphone wielding, answer needing, no patience generation that we are, how does it work out to be? If I want an answer, I'll quickly Google it. No going to libraries, no reading anything. I go to the Wikipedia page and I read it. Oh, I don't know this. And after 5 minutes, okay, I am the subject matter expert for this. Ask me whatever you want. Instant gratification, instant everything. We need to have an app for everything. We almost have an app for everything. You want a car? You want a date? This is one extreme. So what did people do? We have glorified this to such an extent that people are falling short of self-destruction. Okay, I know I can play a guitar. I think that is my passion. So let me quit my job and let me find 3 more people, probably through an app, start a band, and passion. But what I feel is that reality, or the optimum way, is always somewhere in the middle. There is no algorithm, there is no nothing. But what I feel is that if you think, people say, if you aim for the stars, you at least reach the moon. I say, if you aim for the stars, you at least look up. And that's the most certainty that you have. And why? Because there is no quick fix. People talk about becoming great people, and we have great people with us. People outside the box, they remove the box. Now, how did they get there? We deconstruct every of these biographies, try to follow them. But are these the correct point that we are catching hold of? What are we catching hold of? Did we see what did they go through? Did we see their aptitude? Did we observe that whatever they did was with the things available to them, or with the things which they procured? Right? That is where it starts. And if you think about it, how do we get there? And especially in technology. I'm into technology, and in today's world, we see everything is changing so fast. Life is dependent upon technology, and technology is changing so fast. And let me give you an example. Called as the lift operator. Have you heard about it? Have you seen a lift operator? What does he do? He presses button on the lifts, right? Why was there such a job at the first place? Have you ever wondered? Why is there a person just there to push lift buttons? Well, if you think about how lifts started, an elevator was a clunky, massive object to have a shutter as a door, used to break down several times a day, and there was no surety whether if you're getting up on the ground floor, how much time will it take to get to the fifth floor? And which is why people deemed it necessary that let's have a guy operating the elevator. This thing breaks down every time, and we don't want everybody to lose an arm while operating an. Let's have a person. But then what happened? Technology improved, elevators improved, smoother. Elevators now don't chew your arm off. Elevators now open and close by themselves. They even have a panic button. So what happens to a lift operator's job? It disappears. You cannot, no union can save it. It disappears. Same with technology. And we see it every day in IT. What we need to wonder is, metaphorically, how many lift operator jobs are there? Because you see, lot of jobs in this country, lot of people are doing work which are either a supporting job or supporting a form of a technology. Say it's either bug fix, support, maintenance, or just editing something. And if you think of it, are these the lift operator jobs? But then, what is the technological changes that are happening right now? People are talking about AI, people are talking about self-healing system, code generating systems. And what do these systems do? Ultimately, this shift always will happen. Form will give way to function. You cannot always sit on that side. You cannot always be an elevator operator and says that, boss, I'll be here, I'm happy. Because with the speed that technology is catching up, we need to move towards function. But the tricky thing is, we don't know what's going to happen. How will this change come up? So what do? We turn to nature. Because why? Because nature is the best example for dealing with uncertainties. How? Diversity. How does a species survive? A species survives solely because of its genetic diversity, its ability to adapt to different situations. And so have we. We need to adapt to those situations. We need to see, are we moving from form or function? And are we able to align this with whatever we like? Because trust me, there is no such thing as instant finding passion. There is no app for that. What do we do then? We take it day by day, step by step. You know why? Because nobody will hand you your passion. You will have to tinker with everything you like. You'll have to put in honest effort. Finding a passion is not finding an app. It will not come to you overnight. But if you do like something, a little something, and you put in your effort on it, they will reach a point of time when you will be confident with it. And if you continue assimilating it with what you do, doors will start opening for you. New paths will start opening for you. But most importantly, what we need to do right now is to recognize what is happening. So that when I sit down and when I look at my 1-year-old daughter and I say, little one, as you grow up, I'm going to ask a lot of questions. But what will you be when you grow up will not be one of them. Because you are free to go ahead, live your life every day. Take each step and don't fear to venture off in an offbeat way if you like it. Because that is life. It's what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. Thank you.